So once in my 12th standard, I just visited a cafe and I loved the latte art on that. It was a beautiful leaf. So that made me curious that how do they make this art, and what do they actually require these big machines to do it, or can it be done at home? Like the intent behind this, I talked about before, like earlier, that I want to support Indian coffee and Indian coffee farms, and so I would like to dedicate this art to Indian coffee. Like in most of the cafes, baristas serve coffee and interact with people. So basically, to just sum it up, a barista is the representative of the coffee industry. So there are 1,000 hands working for coffee, from plantation, processing, roasting, a lot of things. But a barista's role is to give justice to all their work and represent the face. Yeah, that is what I would say.
Yeah, and you do we always see this Nescafe ads and like how they try to be, but like you are the Nescafe for a cafe, right?
So actually, yeah, you can term it like that, but Nescafe is something completely different than what we do in a cafe. So yeah, it's very different.
Though I was just like putting it simply.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
So tell us about the different coffee blends and brewing methods.
Okay, so coffee blend. I would like to tell you about coffee growing first. So like coffee is known as single origin when it is picked up from one farm, and when coffee from different farms are combined together, then it's called a blend. So every company has their own blends for specific brewing techniques. And talking about brewing techniques, there are many. Like I have some which people might be knowing about, the South Indian filter.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so that's a South Indian filter. Then this is a mocha pot.
Okay.
Mocha pot. Then this is called a pour over, and that's an Aeropress. So I have quite a few equipments with me which I brew in.
I'm jealous of your family. They must be getting every after dinner coffees that we are missing out on.
So actually the coffee I brew, my family doesn't like it. So for them to like to make their favorite coffee, I had to make a lot of trials, and then finally I came up with the right blend, the right recipe which they liked.
Okay,
So it took a lot of time to please them.
So this is new, because usually people like family do like, but maybe they have a peculiar taste.
Yeah. So actually my family drinks instant coffee. So the one which you were seeing, Nescafe. Even I started with that, but 1 year ago I got into brewing coffee, and then I don't feel like drinking instant coffee anymore.
Right, because that is the original taste. We started from that, and then we came to the instant. So
yes.
And you showed us these different kinds of coffee brewing methods. But among this, which is your favorite way?
Oh, so I would definitely say the Aeropress, because so different coffee brewing techniques need some specifications like grind size or the coffees to water ratio, and like the pouring technique and all. It differs from technique to technique, and there are some specifications for each technique. But for Aeropress, Aeropress is the most versatile equipment. You can literally play with all the recipes in an Aeropress. So I love to experiment in this.
So how do you make coffee in an Aeropress? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, sure. So, so this is the chamber, and that's a plunger, and that's a filter cap. So we have to put a paper filter in the filter cap, and then lock it in this chamber. And on a cup, I can just put it like this, put my ground coffee, then hot water, and then I have to plunge it. So we plunge it like this, apply pressure on that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Can I buy this on Amazon?
Yeah, sure. You could just contact me. I could get you connected with some great people in the coffee industry.
Sure, our viewers will get in contact with you, and yes,
Yeah.
for me special discount. What are your personality strengths and weaknesses, and how do they contribute to your ability to be a good barista?
So first thing is, like, in the last year, I've done a lot of things. Like, I dropped out from college, like I dropped out of architecture and started following my passion for coffee. Then also I'm very much interested in coffee. So as you can see, like, I have a lot to talk about.
We are here to
So
listen.
so even at the cafe, I have a lot to talk about my story about coffee and all. So so I love talking to people and sharing my story. That's one thing. I, like, a couple of years ago, I was an introverted person. I had nothing to talk about. Now I have a lot of things. And the second thing is, I'm a very patient guy. So even if there's a lot of rush, so that's one actually negative point, that my orders go slower. Make sure the whatever coffee is going, the quality is maintained. So whatever might be the rush around me, I am at peace and making my coffee.
But then I'm sure that these will become your regulars because everybody wants that. Everybody wants a perfect coffee.
Yes. So they are actually, like, the customers are actually ready to wait.
That shows your work. If a person is ready to wait, then that shows your work.
Yes.
Tell me, why did you decide to drop out of college and pursue this?
So actually, I'm an art enthusiast from childhood. And so once in my 12th standard, I just visited a cafe, and I loved the latte art on that. It was a beautiful leaf. So that made me curious, that how do they make this art, and what do they actually require these big machines to do it, or can it be done at home? So that's when I started exploring with instant coffee. So I started doing art. So that was the entry point for me, art. And then, so I continued it for 3 years. And in second year, I felt that I'm more interested in this actually than what I am pursuing right now. So last year, I took a gap year from architecture to just take an experience. But after 6 months, I felt that this is my thing.
And I'm here for for a very long time.
Yeah.
According to you, what makes a good barista?
Mm-hmm. So the first point I would say is satisfying what the consumer wants. So it's not like that, I like an Aeropress, I like an Aeropress, and I will give you the Aeropress. No. I need to understand what you want, and I have to brew the coffee according to your requirements. So that's the very important point. And the second point, I would say, the one which I mentioned, that giving justice to all the 1,000 hands making the coffee. So the farmer is putting so much of effort, the roaster is putting so much of effort. So it becomes my responsibility to brew the coffee in a perfect manner.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
like thirsty for coffee and I have to suffice myself with water. Right. And I think you are doing a justice when people are waiting for your coffee. I think you are doing fair enough justice to them. Uh, what are some of your best and worst specialty coffee during
Thank you.
drinks that you make?
Okay. So the best, I would say the Aeropress only. I like the recipes I make in Aeropress, and I love more than specific recipe. Like in specialty coffee industry, it is like you have to measure everything. You have to measure the grams of your coffee, measure the milliliter of water, the temperature, and everything to make that perfect cup. But for me, when I'm brewing it at home, it's like random. I feel I should add this much water. I just add it. This much of coffee. I just add it. Like I love it that way, random. For
Don't worry, we are also like that
for
too.
me, yeah, that's for me. But when it's time to make the orders in the cafe, then we have to follow the specific recipe.
We are also home cooks. When it comes to home cooks, we also do that. We don't care about the measurement.
Yeah. So when we are so uh, so the ultimate thing is you brew your coffee and you are satisfying yourself. If you're satisfied, done.
Done, then the coffee is awesome.
Yeah. So it might be any coffee.
Right. And I know that today you are going to do something for us.
Yes.
So you could start with that, and we'll go on with our conversation because I think we finished our first half. So
Yes. So I'm going to do latte art, and so I need a hot milk for that. So the milk is just heating up. It will take 1 or 2 minutes.
cool,
We could,
cool.
yeah,
We'll go on with our questions.
yeah, yeah.
I want to ask this, and I didn't
Mhm.
include this in the questionnaire. The coffee
Mhm.
machine. How do you clean that
Yeah.
thing? It's so big.
Oh. So so like the machines in the cafe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have specific chemicals, like we have those powders. So so like you might have seen those handles in which we put the coffee and attach it to the machine. So it's
Yes.
called portafilter. So we just put a blind portafilter, and in that we keep that chemical and just rush the hot water. So it backflushes inside and the whole machine gets clean.
Oh, we,
Yeah.
we we should do that sometimes. You should give your cafe people when they come. You should be like, we are cleaning the machine. Wanna see some cool stuff?
And so there is also a steaming one. So when we take milk in a pitcher like this, we just rush steam through this to make the foam. So at the end of the day, we what we do is we just open the steam wands, and it's like all steam all over the brew bar.
So you do this like after the customers are gone, or
Yeah, while closing the cafe.
lucky people who come like at the end of the cafe.
But actually, trust me, like for me, I love brewing coffee, and when it comes to cleaning, I'm like it. I want songs, so do um, a lot of fun at night. I really miss that.
It's okay. It's okay. I think the cafes are going to start really soon. So
Yeah.
okay, so the milk is here, but we will go on with our
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
So, what effect, since we are talking about the pandemic and you are missing so much, you are missing so many things out, what effect has the pandemic had on the coffee industry, and what will be the new norm after the pandemic is over?
Mhm. Okay. So so the effect has been really severe because actually, if you see, hospitality industry cannot work from home.
Agree.
So yeah, it's tough. Like for me also, it was like I was talking to around 50 to 60 people daily, and suddenly only 3 people in the house. So it has been a vast difference, and now actually people are getting up with new ideas because cafes are not going to um, be in full action very soon. So so people are coming up with takeaway ideas and small kiosks, and they're more focusing on how we can promote home brewing. So more than the baristas, the roasters are in action, I would say. So the
Right.
coffee is roasted and then packaged and sent to customers. So roasters are in more action right now.
Right, but I think baristas will also come because I just before you I
Yeah.
was interviewing a person who had a club, right,
Okay.
and they are also in hospitality industry, and he was like that. Hopefully everything will open soon. So we missed our baristas as well. So we hope everything gets back to normal as well.
Yeah, I hope to. I want to. I w- I'm missing brewing for people so much.
You're missing having brewed coffee.
I wish you get that soon.
Okay, so I want to ask you since
Mhm.
we talked about instant coffee a while back, and
Mhm.
there are so many brands out there, but which one would taste the best for you?
In instant.
Yes.
So actually, right now, as I have got involved in brewing, I'm not really a fan of instant coffee. But you can actually go for better instant coffees. Like so, there are two types of instant coffees you can get. The one which is powdered, which we get regularly, like we get easily in stores, and the other one has flakes. So I would say go for the coffee which has flakes, because it is at least coffee. And when it is powdered, you're like, you can trust the brand, but not really sure if that is coffee actually. Because it is in powder form, you cannot say anything.
We'll keep that in mind the next time we go out.
Yeah, do try the coffee with flakes. So instant coffee flakes. And of course, I would like to say that uh, do try brewing coffee. That is a lot of fun.
Show us your progress. Where have you reached?
Yeah, so I've just started. Um, I've just topped up the milk. Now I'm going to start drawing.
Wonderful. We can't wait for you to draw. But give us some hint. What are you gonna draw for us?
So I'll show you in the progress.
But like, if you could suffice this
Yeah.
in one line, what would that be?
So, so I have love for Indian coffee. So Indian coffee actually is underrated in India itself. So it is demanded in Europe and America, but not really in demand in India. So I'm on a mission to promote Indian coffee in India itself.
Uh,
So I like to do something related to that.
and in Indian coffee, is there any favorite that you have? Are there any varieties in Indian coffee?
Yeah, so there are a lot of varieties. Like, for example, let's talk about mangoes. So
Oh,
if you have if you have mango from a specific location, like maybe from in Konkan, Devgad, and then you try Ratnagiri. So so both mangoes are the same species, but they are going to taste different. And mangoes actually, the flavor is not very complex, but in coffee, so the thing is very complex. Like coffee has this character of absorbing flavors from the surroundings. So since it is sown in the ground, it is absorbing flavors from the soil, from the air, and everything. Even it absorbs flavor from the adjacent farm. So if I'm growing maybe cardamom in the adjacent farm, my coffee will have a flavor of cardamom.
Wow. Okay. And are
Yeah.
there any Indian coffee brands, Indian flavored coffee brands?
So actually, when you talk about brewed coffee, the coffee is not flavored artificially. Like in instant coffee, if you see, there are hazelnut flavored, vanilla flavored, but in brewed coffee, it's just the coffee beans and what the flavors which I was talking about, cardamom and all. So that is the natural flavors of coffee. And this is the specialty of Indian coffee, to have the flavors of cocoa and spices. So that is very famous in the western part of the world.
Oh, so it's like elaichi ki chai ke badle elaichi coffee, something like that.
Yeah, and that is the what do you call it? That is the natural flavor of the coffee itself. So you don't have to add cardamom to it.
Right. And I'm sure
Yeah.
it would taste wonderful. I just learned about this today from you.
Yeah. So right now I have a coffee which has a flavor note of chocolate and star anise. So an amazing combination of chocolate and spice. I love
Oh,
it. Yeah.
you're making us jealous, you know that?
So it is my work to create that hype about coffee.
And you said that you finally settled for being a barista because this is where
Mhm.
you want to be. Uh,
Mhm.
if you weren't in this career, what would you be
Yeah.
doing instead?
Oh, that's a tough question. Because if I would have continued college, then maybe an architect, but not really. I don't. I felt that I don't belong there.
Are you alone at home? Are you like are your parents okay with this?
Yeah, yeah. Now they are okay. Like at first they were scared. How would I do this and all? So actually we have a family business which is related to interior design. So that was one of the reasons I chose the architecture course, and of course I liked it, and this was the second reason. But then like it was hard to accept for them that I will be serving coffee in a cafe.
Oh yes.
But then they saw my work, and so things got like they accepted things, and now they are also supporting it. So that's the best part.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. That's good news to hear. Any advice for our viewers who want to join the same field of work as yours?
I would say like if you there is no specification that you have to do a certain course or something to become a barista. Of course, for a higher education in coffee, you can opt for courses which are internationally accepted. That is called SCA, Specialty Coffee Association. So you can apply for courses there, but you just have to be a barista. Then go to like explore cafes and just have a look like which cafe would you like to work in. So that is what I did. I just went to Third Wave Coffee Roasters. I liked the vibe of the cafe. I liked the setup, and I just said that I would like to join. And there was a vacancy. So and just show your passion, how passionate you are, because I had a lot of coffee artwork to show them, and only on that basis I got my job. No experience in that.
So true, so true. Passion is very
So
important.
yeah, and also uh, you enjoy your job only if you like the vibe there. So that's what I would say. Visit cafes wherever you like, apply.
So viewers take note, and when how can our viewers get in touch to know more about you and your work?
Sorry?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So how can our viewers get in touch with you to know more about you and your work?
So I'm most active on Instagram. You can follow my page. It's called Homemade Barista, and you can directly DM me there. No worries. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, and I've recently started my YouTube. So the most easiest would be Instagram. You can just connect me there. Yeah. So I'm really proud of this. Like the intent behind this, I talked about before, like earlier, that I want to support Indian coffee and Indian coffee farms. And so I would like to dedicate this art to Indian coffee. I will just show it to you.
Yes, ready for the reveal. Oh, wonderful. It's the Indian flag.
Right?
Yes, we can see it. We can see it. It's the Indian flag with a coffee bean.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So, yes, dedicated to Indian coffee.
Also, happy Independence Day in advance. Independence Day.
Yeah, same to you and to all of the people who are watching this. Thank you so much for joining in, and in advance, I would say happy Independence Day.
What special are you doing on Independence Day? Are we going to see something on your Instagram or YouTube, something?
I'm thinking about it.
Too much.
But this is definitely special. Yeah.
Okay. So to end it, why don't you take a sip from the coffee and then we'll say goodbye to our viewers, because we visually enjoyed it, but then we miss the flavor.
Yeah, sure. So so I would like to talk a little about this art. So why this art is unique is because the thing which I draw with is stiff and my canvas is moving. So that is something unique about it, and I would like to drink it. And before that, I would actually like to click a picture. I'm in love with it.
You're self-satisfied. Yeah. I'm sure Picasso is the same way, if he had a camera. So Anish, I would like to tell you that thank you so much for being with us here today. It was a pleasure having you. We learned so many things about coffee, and I'm in love with that air compressor thing.
Yeah, Aeropress.
Aeropress. I'm bad at this. I will learn, I'm sure. I promise I'll learn. But thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk with all of the people over here. So, cheers.
Cheers. So, bye.
Okay. Thank you, Sasneen. Thank you, Mitti Ke Rang.
Thank you, Anish.